Serious, veterinarians of Reddit, what are the worst things non-abusive people do that harms their pets? If it is a particularly hot day, you really should not walk your dog on asphalt. I constantly see people out walking their dogs in the hot weather and the poor dog will be sitting there shifting from foot to foot trying to get their feet off of the hot pavement. When it's hot out, and I'm walking the dog, I will go barefoot. That way if it's a lot hotter than I thought, I'll be seeking grass cold spots like a madman. Not doing their research before getting a pet, not learning about proper food, training, breed characteristics etc. So they buy the cheapest food because they saw a cute commercial for it. Don't know how to train a dog. They usually don't train them at all, or just use the first method they heard about and don't even try to give other methods a chance. Also getting a breed because it's cute or tough looking and then have huge problems with hyperactivity etc. Also, getting a puppy from a first ad instead of learning about puppy mills, background breeders etc. People that buy Pyrenees mountain dogs or huskies and expect them to live inside all day really annoy me. People that won't walk their collie or similarly active dog more than a few times a week are also twats. I'm currently a vet tech, planning to go to vet school in the next year, when people refuse to get heartgard or any other heartworm protection for their dogs. Heartworms are extremely treatable. All the dogs have to do is eat a tablet each month. Each tablet costs roughly $8. The sad part is, once a dog is heartworm positive, it costs roughly $1,000. Once owners hear that number they refuse treatment because it's too expensive. My GF was a certified vet tech. The one thing that bothered her more than anything else was the way people ignore dental problems in their animals. By the time they are brought in, many animals need roughly half their teeth extracted. Obesity is one of the major ones. Probably a third of the animals I see are overweight. There are quite a few regulars who have joint problems even at a young age. My other bugbear is inbreeding. The number of pugs, bulldogs who can't breathe, the labradors with bad elbows, the westies with terrible skin, dachshunds with bad backs etc. One owner thought that her pug collapsing and going blue after a walk was normal. The number of posts on RAWW of small inbred dogs makes me sad, and anyone who mentions that the dogs are broken gets downvoted to oblivion behind the OMG he's so cute and I want one, but can't afford the $1,000 price tag comments. Plenty of lovely dogs, and cats of course, in shelters that need a loving home. I'm a vet, and the worst thing is not talking to a vet when your pet is ill. Often people will come in after a few days saying stuff like my neighbor cleaner grocery clerk plumber said that also their cat dog cow horse dinosaur had the same symptoms and they just gave them insert random ailment, either completely useless or very poisonous. But after a week he's still vomiting, having bloody diarrhea, limping on the leg with a protruding bone, so I decided I had to spend the money because veterinarians are really expensive. Also, not vaccinating their puppies, that is bad. And if you are in a rabies endemic area, it's also very bad for people that could catch an incurable illness and die the most horrid death imaginable from your unvaccinated pet. Enough psychological terrorism. Have a nice day. After 11 years in the field, I say more psychological terrorism. Hamster balls. A lot of people think they are a nice way to let their pets run around a bit, but in reality it is extremely stressful for them because they can't see or smell, which is even more important, where they are going, and they can't go out of the ball when they want to. I often hear people say that their pet doesn't seem to be stressed, but most mice-like pets don't show stress as open as maybe a dog or a cat would do. They do it otherwise. I can tell you some examples if somebody wants me to. Hamster balls are actually banned in some countries because they are considered animal cruelty. English is not my first language, so I am sorry if I made some mistakes. I might own a rodent someday, so thank you for warning me. Not a vet but long-time fish enthusiast. Seeing that this thread is mostly about mammals, I thought I'd chime in with some other stuff. I hate when people have fish in improperly set up or sized enclosures, so a few pointers. Goldfish, and all fish for that matter, need filters and around twice the filtration that a regular fish would need. This also goes for guppies, although guppies are happy with 1.5x filtration. Lots of African fish get much larger than you would expect, some upwards of 2 feet. This goes for a good number of plecostomi too. That cute 3 inches fish you got a year ago can easily turn into a 1-foot monster. Fish need cover or hiding places. It doesn't matter what anyone says, your fish will be less stressed and therefore live longer. Make sure your tank has the proper light level. Some fish like bright daylights and a little night light. Some like low lights during the day and none at night. Do research. Some fish like jumping, hatchets, killerfish, angels, arowana, and several others need a heavy, full coverage top. If your fish tank feels warm, it's probably around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The water should feel very slightly cold and around 78 for most fish. Air stones are a good thing for two reasons. They keep water moving and can help remove stagnant zones, and they increase the amount dissolved oxygen in the tank. Note on sizing. There should be 1.5 gallons of water for each inch of fish in the tank. Additionally, some fish may need special tank shapes. Bitches like longer tanks as opposed to taller tanks, whereas angels prefer tall square tanks. Some fish may need larger aquariums than their size would suggest because they need extra room to swim or search for food. Again, research the needs of any species before purchase, and if you don't have or can't afford the right tank, don't think it'll be fine. Think I should choose different fish. Fish are great, but there is a large difference between survival and thriving. Improper tank setup increases fish stress and therefore increases fish death. Do research on specific species before buying them, and if you are buying at a dedicated fish store, ask an employee and they'll most likely give you a good answer. One of the worst things you can do to your pet: lie to your veterinarian. The information that you give us about your pet is critical in our ability to turn the vague signs that your pet show us into a list of possible diagnoses. Your pet cannot tell us what they are feeling. They rely on you to be their voice. I don't give a crap if your dog ate your pot stash. I'm not going to call the cops on you. That's not my job. I'm not going to file an animal cruelty report because you were careless. I'm going to fix your pet and send you on your way with possibly a lecture at worst. I'm only going to file a cruelty report for actual cruelty. But if you lie to me about what is wrong with your pet, you're not just putting your wallet in danger by forcing me to run unnecessary tests to figure out what is wrong, but also putting your pet's health in danger by possibly leading us to incorrect treatment. We get lied to constantly, mostly just white lies. Oh, Fluffy never gets people food, but some can be very dangerous. You're paying for our services, so please don't undermine your own investment into your pet's health. Source: current vet med student and 3-year vet tech. Probably late to the party, but goddamn it, spend the extra $30 and get your dog vaccinated for parvovirus. A lot of people assume it's just for dogs who go in kennels, but if you're too cheap to get the vaccine, think of all the other dog owners who won't, and how easily that disease is going to spread. I work as a vet nurse for my father, the vet, and it's heck on the dogs who get it and heck on me to clean up. After a pretty rough weekend on call, this is like ridiculously cathartic. I've got 3 biggies that I see on a daily basis. Number 1 is obviously obesity. It's a touchy subject, but I generally try and give them the facts and figures of studies and survival rates, of which there are many. Then finish off with something along the lines of, your cat dog cannot cook, open cupboards or fridges. This is being done to him/her. Obviously I offer complete support, weekly weigh-ins, etc. Once they're on board and realize it's just crap, you've to be a betty obvious bee about it sometimes. Number 2 would be having a bee that has been whelping, giving birth, for too long unassisted. I find that really hard since I had someone bring me a dog that was in labor for 48 hours to me with a ruptured uterus. She literally looked hopeless. Anthropomorphic yes, false, no. Number 3 would be leaving it too long to get your older pet some good geriatric care. Even just being qualified for a little while, I've definitely noticed people not realize when their animals are in pain. A limp equals pain. Animals don't fake. I just hate seeing a 12-year-old dog that's been crippled with osteoarthritis for too long. There's thankfully so much we can do nowadays, and there's nothing wrong with daily medication. It's just crap, you've to be a betty obvious bee about it sometimes. I don't understand what this means. Declawing cats should be considered abusive, but many cat owners are ignorant of the fact that it's not comparable to a manicure in humans. Declawing traditionally involves the amputation of the last bone of each toe. If performed on a human being, it would be like cutting off each finger at the last knuckle. It is actually banned in 22 countries. Nephew of 2 vets, neglecting to spay neuter. turning them into puppy kitty meals, feeding them corn-based, non-nutritious garbage from the cheapest food aisle possible, and personally, not providing love or affection. Apart from overfeeding, refusing to vaccinate your pet against the common diseases affecting that species is pretty high up, and treating real disease with fake medication, like homeopathy. Also, believing what some nick on an internet forum or some crank website told you about animal health is a better source of advice than your veterinarian. Dryers. GF accidentally threw a shirt on top of our cat and started the dryer. 5 minutes later we almost lost him. $1,200 vet bill. Don't ever let your cat in the dryer. That's just stupid. Lack of obedience training. A well-trained dog makes a visit to the veterinarian so much easier and can prevent unfortunate incidents where, say, your overexcited puppy nipped someone on a walk and you're now stuck with a mandatory quarantine even though your dog had his rabies shots. Exactly. I love dogs, but have very little patience for those without manners. I feel bad because it's not their fault their owners never bothered to train them. A dog needs to understand that the human is pack leader and will be much happier knowing they have a leader that provides for them. Not a vet, but my uncle's family has gone through 8 dogs in 5 years. 3 were given to my great-grandparents because they were too loud. 1 they bought for $800, never spent time with, and ended up giving back to the breeder because he was too rowdy. Another suffered from an ear infection all her life, but they refused to take her to a vet because it wasn't worth it. Aunt is a successful dentist, so not like they couldn't afford it. Another was adopted from the pound for my cousin, but she never spent time with her because she was old. She ended up getting put down with nose cancer when her nose fell off. They have 2 poodles now, sitting in the backyard without human companionship. I try and spend as much time as I can with them because they are super sweet, just afraid they'll be just as neglected as the last ones. You have been visited by the money bird. It'll bring you good fortune, but only if you subscribe in 42 seconds or less. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.